What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing another beer from the Tree House Brewing Company, and they're headquartered in Charlton, Massachusetts, and this is their green. So they're calling this one an IPA that comes in at 7.5% alcohol by volume, 90 IBUs at the time of review. This can is approximately 3.5 weeks old. I want to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a couple good friends of mine and fellow beer tubers, Dan and Mike, over at FLX Beer Reviews for this beer. So big thanks to them. In the description box, I'll post a link to their channel along with the beer haul video I did that contains all the goodies they hooked me up with, and they hooked me up with a bunch, but each of them hooked me up with a can of Tree House. Mike gave me this green, and Dan gave me a can of their doppelganger, which I'll be reviewing soon. So huge thanks to both of them. Go check out their channel. Fantastic dudes, great content. And I'm sure they're going to have some Tree House beers upcoming as well because they got their hands on a lot like I did. So anyway, green. Full disclosure, I've had this one before. According to Untappd, I've had it 3 times. I thought I had it 4, but it's 3 officially. And every single time I have this one, it's the same story. Amazing nose that does not translate into an amazing taste. Still really good beer. I give this beer a 4.25 out of 5 every single time I have checked it into Untappd. So I really do enjoy it, but the nose is always just amazing. And the taste does not live up to it. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that are hashtag Team Green. When it comes to the 3 flagship beers from Tree House, I guess you could say 5. They have Julius, Haze, and Green, which are the 3 that get the most releases on a yearly basis. But they also have Alter Ego, I believe, and Doppelganger. And Doppelganger, I'm hashtag Team Doppelganger all day. But if you go with the 3, Julius, Haze, and Green, I'm actually Team Haze. I don't think I reviewed Haze. I reviewed a bunch of different variants of Haze, but not Haze itself. Anyway, what am I talking about? I don't know. We're going to review this. So it says, we are excited that you are holding Tree House Brewing Company's Galaxy Hop-Filled American IPA Green. Then they have taste notes, which we won't read. So this does use Galaxy hops, and that's all you need to know about it. Hopefully, just as good on the nose, but also actually in the taste this time. So let's give it a pour here. Like, Very Green was fantastic. Like, it was awesome. It was everything I wanted this beer originally to be. So I'm hoping that it works out here. So we'll see. That looks beautiful. It's going to look darker on camera. I already know that. But in person, this is an Instagram. I've said this like a half dozen times, but this is an Instagram picture waiting to happen. It just has this vibrant, sunny, yellow-orange color. It's like a sunburst kind of look to it. Very murky and turbid. A finger of a off-white, super creamy, luscious-looking head. That is a picturesque American IPA or New England style IPA, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, honestly. I fucking hate you, but it's really delicious. I hate you. God damn it. Yeah, it smells awesome. Oh my God. There's just waves of pineapple hitting me. Sweet pineapple, juicy pineapple, candied pineapple. It's just all the pineapple you and myself have ever wanted. But then there's like candied orange and lemon. A little bit of kiwi. And the one thing I always get from Green, and I also got it in like Very Green, but I always get it from Green is this big herbaceous kind of quality. It's basil and thyme. It has like a huge herbal note to it. Fucking intoxicating. The aroma is intoxicating. It smells so fucking luscious. It just smells like it's just like gonna be an amazing IPA. That every single time I smell this fucking beer, it smells like it's just gonna blow my socks off, and I'm just be like, oh my God, this is just fucking 5 out of 5, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't happen. Please happen this time. Please, because it's so good. It's juicy. It's fruity. It's herbaceous. There's a little bit of dankness. Touch of like a floral note. Oh my God. All right, let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again to Dan and Mike, more specifically Dan, for this beer. And please be amazing. Please, please, please. Oh, did this batch do it? Almost. This almost has done it for me. Almost. Like 85 to 90% of the nose is carried over. I'm pretty excited, actually. I didn't think it would carry over like it hasn't the last 3 times I've had it. But this is as close as in the taste to the aroma that I've had out of any batch of this. Body and mouthfeel of these Tree House beers, I should just stop saying anything. Just be like, body's awesome, mouthfeel's awesome, move on. I can't. Body is a higher side of medium, appropriate 7.5%. Mouthfeel is a Tree House beer. It's hard to explain to somebody who maybe hasn't had a Tree House IPA what their mouthfeels consist of. But imagine like drinking a cloud or a pillow or something that is so creamy and luscious and velvety on the palate, but still has carbonation. That's Tree House to a T. Like their mouthfeels are, for me, I have, much like Hop Butcher, I have not really been let down from a mouthfeel of a hop forward beer from Tree House. And some of their darker beer mouthfeels are fantastic too. The taste, right at the forefront, candied orange, candied lemon lime, Starburst, Skittles, things like that. And then it turns into more of a juicy citrus fruit. And then the pineapple comes in. It's waves of pineapple. Again, it's candied, it's juicy, it's over-ripened. It's just sweeter pineapple. Halfway through the palate, there is a big pop of that herbaceous note, more of like a basil than anything. A little bit of a thyme too. And then there's a little bit of like a floral sensation. And about 3/4 of the way through the palate, the bitterness starts creeping in. This has a approaching moderate bitterness on the back of my palate. Mild to moderate, but approaching moderate. It's slightly dry, but more bitter than dry. Really well balanced, because at the forefront, the one thing I've worried about this beer in the past is, all that sweet, juicy kind of hop character. You think maybe it's going to be too sweet and nothing's going to combat that. And then on the finish, you're hit with that almost moderate bitterness and a little bit of a dryness. And you're like, wow, okay, so this is balanced to some degree. 7.5%. I can tell it's in that 7.5, 8 range because of the body and mouthfeel, but maybe a little warming into the chest, stomach area, but not in the palate at all. This is really good. So I will say this, and I'm glad it happened during a review, but this is the best batch of green I've had. Now, I never had, maybe I had one, I think I had one can of this from their Monson, Massachusetts location, the old location, I think pre-2015, I think it was, or 2016, whenever they moved in their Charlton facility. I had this and one other beer. And the first batch of this, again, was very similar to what I was talking about with the, great nose, and then the taste didn't really carry over as much. And I've had 2 batches after that, which were very similar. So I can't speak to the OG, maybe the first year of them being in their original facility and how great this beer was. Because a lot of people will post in comments be like, oh, green's not as good as it used to be. And I don't have any reference for that because I've never had it. But of the 4 different batches I've had spread over a almost 7-year period, I think the first time I had this was 2015, or maybe I think it was like 2015 or 16. So over the last 6 or 7 years, I've had this now 4 different times. And it's been very similar every single time. No fluctuation on what I'm really tasting until this batch. And I think this batch, the taste carried over, which is why I like this quite a bit more than the other batches. I should say quite a bit more, just a little bit more, because the taste is a bit better, and that's what really was stopping it from getting a higher rating from the prior batches. Not much more to say about it. Like I said, I give this one like a 4.2, 4.25 on Untapped every single time. I'm gonna go a little bit higher this time. So, green from Tree House, one of their staples, one of their flagships. I'm going to go low 4.5 out of 5 and go 4.4 out of 5. I think that's where it lands. It's definitely better than a 4.25. It gets in the low 4.5 range for me. Why? It just hit me right now. I think the taste actually carrying over to some degree. I got to bump it up, almost a 1/4 point, and that's what I did. So, I'm really happy with this one. So huge thanks to Mike. Price and availability, I don't remember what green was. I think Julius is like $16 a 4-pack. So this is probably in the $16 to $18 4-pack range all day long. That's a great price. And availability, you got to go to one of the Tree House locations or trade for it if you're not in the Massachusetts/Connecticut area. If you're in New England, you probably can get your hands on them. You go on a trip or something. But if you're across the country in California or something, you probably need to know somebody. Not much more to say. I'm really happy about this one. I still think very green. And then I had another, was it the very green with 7 or 3 G's and an N? I don't know. Like, there's so many different, but the very green was what I wanted this beer to be. And this is close to that, but not quite up to that level. But best green I've had. Only 4 times I've had this, but best green I've had. So if you've had this one before, let me know what you think about it. If you've had a lot of Tree House beers, let's say if you had the 3 flagships between Julius, Hayes, and Green, are you hashtag Team Green? Hashtag Team Julius, hashtag Team Hayes, or you go off the beaten path, maybe go with Alter Ego or Doppelganger like this guy, because I'd be curious. Anyway, again, huge thanks to Mike for this one. In the description box, links to FLX Beer Reviews channel. Go check them out. Great guys, very generous individuals, and just good dudes in general. So not much more to say about it. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Till the next one. Cheers.